Did record button.
We'll call February 27, 2024. City council meeting order. Remind everybody to silence their phone. No one just need to leave us know from friends.
Lord Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, Lord, as humble as we know how, Lord. Which ask you right now, Lord, to increase each and every one of us, Lord, and you increase us, Lord, to make the right decisions for the city. Lord, I ask you that you continue to shield and protect each and every one of us in this building, oh Lord. Lead us and guide us, and these blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Bryan.
Present.
Councilmember Hampton. Here. Councilmember Woodfall.
Here.
Vice Mayor Landry. Here. Mayor Catherine. Here.
There are no items on the consent agenda. So we'll skip on to receive a request from the general public. Any person wishing to address the council regarding non-agenda items will be given 5 minutes for other groups or delegations will be given 10 minutes. Would anyone else speak on anything that's not on the agenda? General request from the general public. Hearing no one. We don't have any bids to go around.
No bids.
All right, we're going to general business. Agenda item 6A. City manager to address council regarding order during council meetings and council to take any actions deemed necessary.
I just want to remind all y'all and us too, let's keep it to one conversation going on at a time. When we're trying to do the minutes and watch the videos back, there's too many side conversations going on. You can't hear good what's going on. And microphone's part of that problem too. Once we get the speakers in, that'll help with that. But let's just try to keep the side conversations down to none. One person talking at a time and talking about the agenda item.
You being common courtesy.
No, some of that. Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Would you like to break it down what we do it in council meeting?
Yeah, this is what the North Central Florida Regional Planning Council says with their public comment section. The council welcomes you to this meeting. This time is set aside for our citizens and general public to address the council on any matter not included on the agenda. This is not a question or answer time. It is not a political forum, nor is it a time for personal accusations or derogatory remarks to or about council personnel. If you would like to address the council, please complete a form, come to the podium when you're called, speak into the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Please also limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. Your participation is welcome.
That's
that-
good. I don't know why you have to do a poll
No,
but.
but the rest of the language.
All right, agenda item 6B, council to continue discussion on leave payout policy and take any actions deemed necessary.
Right. Met back again. And decided. Go with Stephen. Go, the maximum you can hold on to are 320 hours, be 424 for the fire department. Anything occurred above that would be paid out annually, starting on your anniversary date in 2026. That gives you pretty much 2 years to get down below if you want to use that vacation before we start paying it out.
Your proposed, I'm looking at proposed leave policy
We
that you
changed,
got here.
yeah, I changed it today.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, to
320 hours, 424 for fire department. And anything above that, paid out on your anniversary date beginning in 2026. I put 2025, but they wanted a little more time.
basically you got 2 years to, if you want to use your time, you can use it. After that, it's going to be a payout. What was the change between the 384 and the 424?
Whatever ratio was in the manual report didn't quite add up at the same time. I think 320 hours is 2 months for a regular employee and 424 is 2 months for a fire department. Well, I forgot we changed it to amend the manual. We got to do it by policy resolution. So I'm gonna bring a resolution next meeting with this language. For us to approve.
Everybody okay with it?
Well, I'll bring back a resolution.
Very good. Agenda item 6B. Send manager to address council regarding street repaving and take any actions when necessary.
I really don't think it's time to spend $1 million of unbudgeted money. When we got hurricane damages that haven't repaired yet. We got the mill closure that don't know the full extent of what's gonna cost us. I haven't had time to search for grants.
So you're proposing to take trust money and just spend it on whatever. That's what you're proposing.
I'm supposed not to do that with
So
unbudgeted.
you are proposing, because that, if you will go back to when that was enacted, it was for strictly street paving. And here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to go back 15 years to the current time and reflect the amount of collection per year and what it was used for. It's simple. All you gotta do is go to the page in the audit and look at one number, two numbers. It's that simple.
And he is right, because it is, you could pay for street repaving, sidewalks, asphalt, the street department, the garage. And it offsets a lot of stuff in the general fund. But that's what he was saying, he wants to might save some of that for, because we might be taking other funds to pay for some of this damage. So that could still at least pay for street department and all that. I suggest we do 750,000 worth.
I suggest we do $1 billion and keep 750.
We don't have that much in there.
You're sure that, unless you.
Let me look. I don't think so. Let's be sure. Local option gas tax. Yeah,
Wasn't that 1.6 million or something? 1.619.
yeah, it is 1.73, yeah.
But
It's 1.7, you're right. Yeah.
it's not, we're not right or wrong or anything.
No,
Here's what I would suggest. How many DOT projects for street paving have we got now? In none.
Scott, application is due
Yeah.
March 17th.
Well, I would say that if we use the money strictly for Stevens Street, it could cost $1 million, really.
It's going to cost.
that's just it.
And you're benefiting
Yeah,
6 people.
but I agree with you on this DOT business. For things like LaCour, Bishop, those are long,
Connecting roads.
what we got.
a tremendous number of one block streets that we could use this for. Now, even though we say $1 million, that doesn't mean $1 million, because we're gonna do what we wanna do. If we stop it at 750, we stop. If we stop it at 1.2, we stop. But we need to do something with these short streets and go with DOT on the longer ones. You know, just, I don't know, kind of sounds silly to go with DOT for half a city block. We need to go for the long ones.
I think we were looking at Bishop and Park
Yeah,
and something else. That was called over.
I thought Park was county.
It's just down there.
It's the next,
Park is Cityville,
Plantation County,
Plantation County.
one down from.
when it connects,
County road to a state road.
State road, but we may like.
well, yeah, I agree that we can put a plan together with the two pieces and, make it work.
I wish we'd have got it in the budget. I don't like spending $1 million unbudgeted money.
Or we can just make a budget, maybe.
I don't like doing budget money for $1 million.
Why not?
Because it was obligated for that category and we've been sitting on it, so.
Right.
But we can also do a lot, like I say, to help offset other expenses in general fund with hurricane repairs and such, use our other money, but we have it in the bank and it is earmarked. It's a restricted fund.
Yes.
What if we started with one street? Just pick one street and do that this year. It's next year,
You wouldn't get a bid.
what?
You wouldn't get a bid.
And it's cheaper to do a bunch at one time because of
Yeah.
staging costs. Because they have a whole fee just for showing up. For bringing all the
Set it
trucks and
Set up
stuff.
and tearing down and, yeah, just mobilization.
Mobilization.
All you really have to do is ask for a price per square foot yard or whatever to do it, for milling and one for paving, those two numbers.
And like you
Didn't
said,
do it.
short streets.
Yeah,
When you started it with the newspaper article, what the county was doing, you said we need to do
so
exactly what.
let's go over this again. You think it never happened.
Right.
Never happened. Never. County article has got to do with the CDBG housing project. Nothing to do with street bank.
That one you read of all the bids they had out,
Got it right here in my hand.
that's housing. Good.
Yeah, it's all housing. And my point was, at one time, CDBG, you had to come with it, a street, you know, when you do this and all this to make it fit. But this has got, a project at, this is a Greenville address, but it's up around Shady Road. Then there's one on Smith Road, Kelly Grade, Red Patchett Road, Schoolhouse Road, all over. Yes, they're all over. Can we do that? So the way a housing would work now, question. But why is the county able to do this?
And city residents are eligible for that program. It's clearly stated in there when they did it.
Okay.
Any city resident can apply for that as well.
I understand that,
That's probably why you don't have a separate grant. That's probably why you don't get a CDBG for it, because city residents are included
no,
in the
that,
count. For that CDBG housing.
the reason we don't get a grant for it is because we haven't applied in 15 years. Not. That's got nothing to do with it.
That's on the agenda, down the line.
Yeah, but this has got nothing to do with paving.
Give me the opportunity to get a CBDG grant for street repaving and not spend our $1 million right now.
You, Mr. Block grants, I mean, I'm not saying they don't, I've never heard of one, but
Several people got a favor.
it's, you generally tied to water and sewer. Courthouse, yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of anyone who can pay. You know what area you got it for paving?
And Garrett, look at
There
several of
was, there was several different states that have used them for paving.
Well, isn't that where we got,
City.
Yeah, there's several different states. I mean, we're not the state
City.
itself, but there's some Minnesota, Georgia. You know, I found a lot of that use them for paving.
Strictly paid.
Bill, isn't that where we got our decorative stuff out here?
Like,
The fancy, brick and all that?
Yeah.
That was CDBG, wasn't it?
yeah.
Right, so the paving is a revitalization.
They use it, the way they
No,
wrote
what
it
he's
up,
saying
they
it
call
was-
them how a grant writer writes.
It was strictly paving and nothing else.
To me, that's revitalizing the community. Nice roads.
Sean, you're writing this grant or?
the meeting with the grant writer Thursday, and right after that, we got a phone call with, the guy from Florida Commerce, that's over the rural division. They've already talked to him, they said, you know, it's normally 700, actually, the city, if you block the whole city out, we don't qualify anymore. Because of new census, we don't meet the criteria. Like you said, you have to block out certain neighborhoods. They talked to them about that, they said they're willing to give us an exemption, because they know everything was going on.
Criteria don't we need?
Like median income. The whole income of the city is higher than whatever that number is. So you can block out certain neighborhoods and meet the income, but city entire thing,
Well, we don't need to do it in the entire, we need to do it.
that's why it's harder. It will be harder to get water projects and wastewater projects that benefit everybody because we don't meet that median income anymore with the new census. But we've talked to Florida Commerce and they said they know what's going on here. They're willing to give us an exemption from that rule and they're willing to go above the $700,000.
Did you get that in writing? I don't believe Ty get it in writing. Oh, I know.
But if we want, I'd much rather write it up for $1 million of street repaving, CDBG.
Question is, do we hold okay,
These
and
people-
give John the opportunity?
Well, we'll move forward and see what kind of bids we get. See what our square yardage, per price per square yard comes in.
Because my only thing is we keep promising these constituents that we're gonna get the roads paid, and then every time it comes forward, it's always some type of excuse to stopping us from doing it. And it's not fair to them.
What you're gonna find is the city has been using that for operational expenses. It's stretching it. But that's what they've been doing. After,
It is the street in front of the shop, and I've learned it from you.
If you skip Stevens, non-DOT, this is just back of the napkin calculations, you would get these 5 streets done. Marguerite, Springfield, Cherry Street, Park Street, Reese Linton. That's right at $1 million.
Yeah.
That's exactly $1 million.
but I don't have a list, but there are some. And more need than that.
But that's a beginning.
It's
Oh,
just-
that's what I'd like to see, is that we get started.
We don't have to,
I rated them myself. I don't care about the districts. I just did it based on condition and the traffic volume. Those are the worst roads that I've seen out there.
districts got nothing to do with it.
I agree. And I don't even know what district,
Don't even look at it.
Uh-uh.
I don't even know what district I was in when I was in Green. But that's what you want. It'll get you these 5 roads right at $1 million.
I'd like to see us start with that. To get something done this year and not put it off the next year or the next year.
We're still gonna apply for the Scott, probably
Oh, yeah.
2 streets. And like, we can talk about it when we get to the CBDG, but what do we want to do with that one too? Because they told us to apply.
Well, make sure you're picking the more impoverished neighborhoods for those, because that would be the samplings of survey that they would take. They go door to door and
Now, we'll get a bid out to get these 5 streets redone, see what it is.
Could we please include Love Ridge Park in area?
I got it down here.
It is a park and it's in bad shape.
All of these roads are in bad shape.
Is that the one?
Oh, it's on the list. Yeah, but it's not included.
No, but it's on the list.
Which,
There's a lot of them that are not included in the first.
We still ask you if we can increase.
any more discussion on
Well, actually, went to bridge right.
it? Agenda item 6D. Council to discuss naming and build at Heritage Park and take any actions deemed necessary.
Y'all been by, but the Toots did quite a bit of work on the fields at, the two fields at Heritage and the Captain Norman fields. They want to rename just the field itself after Billy Pillow. So it'll be Billy Pillow Field at Heritage Park.
Just the two practice fields.
Are you talking about both of them or just one?
It says field on the plaque that got made, but I'll assume we're talking about both of them.
One another's field.
Yeah.
So I would think it's one. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. So,
I'm okay with it. So Captain, Miss Catherine was name gonna stay on that part?
On,
Yeah.
across the street.
I know us who did the part.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep, they got a new sign made for it since they redid the,
Okay.
Any vote or just a consensus?
I think.
I think. I don't remember what the policy said. Is that a resolution?
I was gonna ask you, what was the part?
Well, if it's resolution or if act,
Yeah, I'll look at the policy. I think it
it
is.
might not be a bad idea to do about it.
I think it is. That's two resolutions I should have had ready.
Mayor, can take care. Next.
We're gonna insert an item into the agenda, this, Charter would like to make a presentation, I believe.
This is to recognize an outstanding citizen, Mr. Robert Getty Senior. Come forward, please. Give me a minute to get down. I'll come to you. Welcome. Getty. This is for your unselfishness. In keeping your neighborhood, your community beautiful and clean. You didn't have to do that. So the council would like to recognize you for being an outstanding citizen. And just in case you don't know, he also goes out and cleans the cemetery. Could you tell them why?
Because it cover up with weed, cover up with dirt. And I can't go to St. Pete to do mine, so I go out there and I do theirs. So I got found the guy now to do mine one way. My dad, stepdad and my brother on, I'm paying him to do them. I go out here and people I know, I tell them I just do them for nothing.
Tell them when did you start cleaning up your neighborhood?
Way back in 2014,
What happened?
one guy came by and do it, I'm getting paid for it. I think he was for doing, but still, I said, no, ain't nobody paying. I'm just doing to keep the neighborhood covered. If you don't, snakes, rats, everything coming in the neighborhood. So that's keep your business, but the doctor told me my heart bad. What I have to do, thing, keep it moving the same pace. Cause if I don't, all I gotta do is drop one more, I'm dead. So I try to stay busy sitting there and working. Thank you.
We really appreciate what you're doing.
Very good.
And I hope that what you're doing gets spread like a rumor. And everybody starts doing the same thing to keep our neighborhoods clean. Thank you so very much, Mr. Mayor.
All right, appreciate it.
You want to take a picture or
I would,
maybe with his family?
yes. Okay.
We're gonna take a picture with his family and his family, that's, all right, you know.
You might take a picture of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Maria.
Yep, stand there, we'll get back to the things they get
There
done.
we go.
It's here.
Ms. Daddy, do you want to? Here we go.
We used to have a banister there.
Back to you. I was.
We had a banister there.
I greatly, I greatly.
We're going to get a little closer now, go around with the picture. Somebody else step forward with this, we got people behind. Step forward.
I'll go to the front.
Mr. Betty, you know.
That'll be okay. One, three, one, two. One more, one, two.
It's fine.
Right here, we got.
Outstanding.
Thank you, Mayor.
Agenda item 6E. Council to discuss Baker Park and take any action deemed necessary. I've got a small park out behind, what's it called now? It was Marshall, what's the name of it? Nursing home anyway. Spire.
Easy.
Behind Marshall.
It's a little park behind, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll show you all some pictures of it, then we can talk about it. Kind of reminds me of something out of a horror film.
What do you think, John? Just, make it into a grass,
Green space.
green space.
We had talked to the Harry Garden Club, and they were somewhat interested in taking it over as, and maintaining it as like a community garden of some sort.
I love the idea, but is it gonna be, where the patients that walk over there and like to sit out in front of the pond and just get some relaxation? Are we gonna have seats and benches and stuff over there for them to sit in? Because that's something that those guys love to do, and if we take that away from them, that's part of their day.
Sure, we can go back with a few benches.
There's a pond there.
It's the stream, it's a creek.
You got some people out there and fish. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that, as long as we don't have it, but they can go out there and see it.
That's good.
There.
That would be nice.
Mhm.
We had that bench sponsor program we talked about last meeting.
Well, it's fine, just as long as we do, because I have some of my, I love them to death, and my partners, like they'll tell you, like my little babies, and some of them, they leave and they go over there in the wheelchairs, and that's an outing for them with families.
Well,
There's a sidewalk all the way from the
Yeah.
building out there. isn't there?
It makes a big loop around.
Big old loop.
If you guys would like to sponsor events and put it out there, I'll get you on an application.
Just let me know, let me know how much, and I can see what I can do. I don't have a problem with that, y'all know I love,
I'll bring them up here next time.
okay.
So is the idea of turning this one into a green space about redirecting the resources and no longer referring to it as a park?
It'd still be Baker Park, but just less equipment we gotta maintain. We have 15 parks and a cemetery.
I'm surprised by the
15 is a lot.
When you can see the toys around there, are rusted garbage.
I think that's something I don't know.
If y'all are okay with it, we'll get rid of all the equipment, go back with a few nicer benches that aren't gonna get beat up like that, and then just mow it. And talk to the garden club, or I saw another Facebook group too. That was interested in a community garden. We're gonna rip it up.
Do you need a consensus? Everybody give with it?
Yeah.
All right, agenda item 6F. Council to discuss solid waste policy and take any action deemed necessary.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of seeing this. I know other cities do it the way we're doing it. Say, we'll throw anything you want to out on the right of way and we come and pick it up.
Hey, me.
We gotta change something.
Well, I think there's supposed to be certain days you put it out the day before, but nobody follows it. That's not what.
If you could just get them to put it in payment,
That's what I
that
want
would be a
I
tremendous.
wanna go to, we're gonna pick up, I wanna go to where we pick up just yard debris and whatever's in your can. If you have something special needs to be picked up, you call us for a special pickup.
Uh-oh, oh, wow.
That's what everybody else is doing.
Here's the a problem. You got about a third of the residents who can't take care of it themselves. Or pay for it. This has been dealt with for 50 years.
And everybody else has
Still,
gotten over it.
How do they handle it in other places, John? Have you talked to other cities and what do they do?
City of Marion has this.
City of Marion.
Yes. This is their household garbage, pickup rates. They do once a week, can pickup. And any special pickups are charged at this rate. You call Public Works, they'll come pick it up. And they have roll-off sites they maintain, so if you want to take your own trash, you can,
Someone without a charge or with a charge.
without charge.
So you can take it somewhere.
And we talked this morning, I thought it was a great idea. Announce maybe 2 days a year, free white goods pickup.
So this is how much they will get charged if it's on the side of the road and you
Yes.
call.
You call and you, the city will go pick it up within, I don't know if it had it in there, I think it's 24 hours.
Who's gonna answer the phone?
And you,
Because she does that.
Y'all gonna stop coming out of the job on my baby.
How do you feel about it, Danielle?
I would love to see it cleaned up, because I ride around, like he said, there's just garbage out by the road, not in the can. I just don't have a run gonna be hard to enforce it. But now the picking up within 24 hours. If they call, we might need to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Because
they
it
don't have the
might, I
manpower.
But like right now, yeah, we just have to play it by ear.
Y'all should have.
But that's only white goods that they're having to pick up, all their junk, they're gonna have to do something with,
And
you
see
know, like
that,
that stuff there.
that's the problem.
The other thing you're gonna
But
hear
if we-
is, I didn't do
That's, we hear that all the time.
I think we're gonna create more of a problem.
Oh, it is, because they're gonna use the men's club as a dump site. They're gonna come over there on Folsom and they're gonna, where Mr. Rogers puts the stuff, they're gonna stop there and they're gonna go to making that a junk pile.
Dixie
See,
Highway.
it's only gonna affect certain parts of the
The
city.
other.
They're already doing that. I've got a junk pile down there on Springfield, and they just dump
It's
it.
everywhere.
We need to.
Yeah, and it is, it's everywhere. They just decided, well, we're gonna dump it here and they dump it. And nobody's responsible for it, and nobody picks it up. And it just grows. Once they start, it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
How many trucks do we have? to pick this up?
Mm.
it. We have actually put 50 sites you talking about, police officers. Still there.
Mhm.
But what, Bill?
Police
I think it
officers.
would be great, but it's gonna take time.
It's gonna be a heartache for a while.
Well, yeah, but any change is, anytime you make a change, people are gonna complain about it, they're gonna buck against it. But we have to do
But
something.
it does look terrible. There's some areas that
It's awful.
their can is right there and they literally just have garbage scattered all around.
And then if the wind blows, it blows all down the street.
So I put up with it every day when I get off of work, I gotta go down the road picking up trash.
We get the phone call, they clean up the street. Well, you gotta go to root cause. The root cause is because it all got put in a pile.
Mhm.
And it doesn't even be doing it. If it was just a bridge out there, I can understand that. It ain't gonna blow away. We'll come get it. But they're using it as a trash pile that could just go in a can or should be going in a can.
Exactly, should be going in the can, see it, you're right, I see it all the time, bottles, just whatever,
Hamburger wrappers, fast food.
not even in the bag, just beer, pour it out in that pile.
May I make a suggestion? Why don't we place this on the property owner? And go no longer pick up,
Because
it's landlords and everything.
I can tell you why. So that property owner is gonna go see the judge, and the judge is gonna throw the whole policy out. That property owner's gonna say, I didn't do it, and that's the end of it.
Cause it's all city right away.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
but
I don't think George.
I've got a neighbor. He will be standing right, leaning on his can. He'll finish his drink and drop it right there.
Right there by the trash can.
Anything, anything.
There's a way to stop it. It starts here.
Okay.
There's some strategies that we could use that are different, we've never tried. The city manager has the authority to empower any city employee to do code enforcement. By our code, why not get the guys that are picking up this trash? Why not give them the authority to stop someone from doing an issue a citation while they're there picking it up? It's in our code, we can do that.
Public works.
Anybody, any city employee, yes,
But
we can do that, we can try that.
for you lost me.
Oh, yeah.
Back in.
So they're more apt to see people throwing stuff. The more eyes you have looking, the more eyes you have looking, the more you're gonna see.
They ain't gonna do it while the workers out.
You never know. I caught somebody doing it today and I made them pick up 4 or 5 other pieces of trash. You've got to just pay attention and look. We're not trying anything now. We need to try something different.
So you saying we have more than one code enforcement officer?
We could have every city employee be a code enforcement officer if we wanted them to.
Didn't you all do that once before? Have citizens,
That's a totally different concept.
it's a different, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. So we go to this, are the constituents gonna see a decrease in their bills? We're not gonna be charging them for pickups and, or nothing is gonna change,
You'll see.
or we're adding on.
white goods will add on, their monthly bill might decrease.
Their landfill will decrease because all that stuff.
That's what I'm saying,
The
we gonna see a
landfill.
decrease somewhere.
But if you bring, but if you
The
bring. it
landfill?
yourself,
Of charge.
How much?
White goods. can be-
Honestly, don't have deal. I can find out.
There are people-
Right now, we had, well, we're back picking it
Yeah.
up, but you know, during the storm,
Just those of us don't really understand what exactly are white goods about.
There are people
appliances.
that ride this city.
Yeah.
Picking up
They do.
white goods.
Oh, yeah, because metal,
White goods is not the problem.
you're talking about metal stuff,
Yeah.
basically,
Like
refrigerators,
furniture,
stoves.
stoves, appliances.
It's all the stuff.
Yeah.
Did the furniture places carry, when they bring in new
Mhm.
things, they carry them off anymore? They used to.
It's
will,
50
but they're
bucks.
charged.
It's $50 to take it away.
Well, if you told them I'm not gonna buy it, they will charge.
Yeah, I agree with you about the metal. A lot of times you just put it up by the road, within 24 hours, it's gone. Most of the time.
Either way, we've got to do something different.
Yeah.
We've been doing this the
That's
same
true.
way for how long, Phil? We've got to, if it doesn't work, we try something else. We need to try.
Saw something in North Alabama, some of them will bring it later. Some I saw in North Alabama, I didn't get a chance to go back and take a picture of the sign, but yeah, you got signs on the road that say how much it is for littering. This particular place, it was $3,000.
But they gonna have to enforce it, because the county's got that right now, and they don't nobody enforce it. Law enforcement, I've talked to them till I'm blue in the face, and they say they can't do nothing. If they don't actually see them throw it out there, they can't do nothing. Got a bag of trash out there on the side of the road, with their name on it. Can't do nothing to them, even though you dig in the trash and find somebody's name on it, they can't do nothing to
So they didn't actually say in.
them. Yeah, they said they didn't see them do it, and on top of that, they say, well, so-and-so hauled my garbage off, I didn't haul it off, so go find him. So unless somebody sees them do it, there's nothing they can do. Until somebody changes the ordinance or laws or something.
Here's, with all of them. Our employee goes by and picks up. Now, it would take another hour to go out as far as this stuff is scattered and bring it all to pick it up. They can't do it. That would work.
So you don't put it out there. So don't put it out there. That's how you solve the problem.
I know.
This goes all the way to economic development. That's the CEO's wife running through Judson Drive, Quail Point. She ain't gonna live right there. They're not gonna bring their business here. They're gonna go to Thomasville. Or Marianna or whatever.
I guess what a lot of it boils down to is community pride.
Absolutely.
Past all the fines and the laws and just people saying, hey, we don't want a trashy place to live.
Good luck at that.
Well, it comes down to the whole property owner account. It's on your property, you're accountable for it. You have a property, keep your property and all clean the city limits by code enforcement, so the property owner is responsible.
Well, we had-
The city owns that property you're looking at right there.
Right. Property owner that put it there lives across the street. They went to a vacant property, so it wouldn't be on their yard. They had to ride in their
And
yard.
they say it's not mine.
I don't know how they did it, but when I lived in Longwood, I could put anything out there at the end of the driveway on trash pickup day, and they picked it up. Anything, didn't matter where it was, they picked it up.
But you put it on the day of pickup,
I did.
you know, since some of them are not doing it.
Well, I don't know if it had been a really big piece of furniture or something like that, I might have had a call or something, but whatever I put out there, they picked it up.
The way it is right now, in their different days, like a Monday,
So
the first Monday, second Monday, third Monday's off, the different numbers.
And that doesn't work either, because if I get a sofa delivered on Thursday, and I want to put my old sofa out. I gotta wait till Monday to pick it out?
For a whole nother 3 weeks.
Yeah, that doesn't work. I think it's a good idea to have them call in if they've got a piece of big equipment or something that needs to be picked up, that makes sense. But I didn't even have to do that. I put it out there to pick it up.
So when they make that phone call, to say that they need that piece of white good or furniture will not picked up. Well, are we tagging it onto their bill or they having to pay before we come pick it up? How are we doing?
Probably tagging on their bill.
On the bill.
The easiest way.
This is just initial conversation.
Yeah.
What we want
That's
to
what
do.
I-
That's an example of what somebody else did.
We doing that, they're paying.
What?
That was just.
Everybody's paying for the minimum service of getting your yard debris and your can picked up. Not everybody's abusing it like that. That person should have to pay more than
You're
what I'm
right,
paying.
you're right,
Oh, yes.
you're right. You don't have to pick up my garbage but once every 2 months.
One time, that property Lawford was on. Behind my brother's place back there. We went out, went through it, all that garbage, gave me down the name. We went to the man's house, police officer, went to his house, his wife. But she didn't know anything about it. Well, she then waits for the husband to come home. The husband comes home and she asks, where did you take it? In a not very friendly way. What happened was he had to go out there and pick it all up and bring a note back to his wife that he picked it up. I love it.
John, the only thing I can say at this point is that we must continue to pick it up. We can't just pass it by. If the more we pass it by, the worse our city is going to go. Until we come up with the way that's gonna work, we just need to pick it up.
We will keep doing our policy until we,
You know, the policy we have is not working. If I put out my sofa and I don't put it out on the right day, I've got to wait 3 more weeks.
it's our policy.
Yeah, but still, the policy we have is making our city look worse. So we need to do away with that policy. I think we should. It's not working. It's not working at all.
Can't we have a roll-off site somewhere?
Some people do fall in the policy, because I get phone calls all the time, want to know when their pickup day is.
They do.
And they hold, but some people, like those people don't.
Most of them.
Some people are organized and care and others just live in the minute.
Where you gonna put the roll-off site? I mean, what kind of roll-off site, one of these unload on the side or an actual roll-off
But that
like
would
county has or?
Give people an option.
city residents not use the county roll-off site?
They won't let us. We've tried that.
You cannot use it.
We were thinking of the compound for now, just somewhere where we collect it all in one spot, instead of going to every street in town. They could bring it to one central location. We could pick it up there.
Never.
That's all. I don't know. So if we do decide to do that, can't we get one of like those little large dumpsters where they usually come and pick them up and take them off?
Do it that way, or we could just pile it up and pick it up with our boom now. Or either, this is just preliminary conversation. We're not making decisions
I'm
now.
for that. Any way that we can get this city cleaned up, I'm for it.
We don't have a truck that'll carry the roll-off dumpster, do we?
And the issue with what you're talking about is people getting it into the dumpster.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause the county, theirs, they drive up on, they go.
Oh, and they can,
Yeah.
that's true.
Kind of have somebody fall in over here.
My coworkers had to go.
But they have some that have the low threshold so that you can push it right off the truck.
But then when it gets full, you're still having to put it on top. Or, you know, it gets halfway full.
We, I suggest we contract with someone and then you guys still have to do what's out in the neighborhoods, but at least it's an option for decent people to go toss it.
Well, that's true, there is garbage counties that have those trucks in. Pull those, roll
I'm sure Deep
Roll
South
up
will
trucks.
probably help us out.
got it, thank you, but yeah, they have, there's, I have seen those, well, they bring, yeah, all kind of companies bring dumpsters down here.
Deep South, I mean,
I'm not saying half a dozen different companies. We just wanna roll some ideas and see what we come back up with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew we were gonna solve it today, but it upsets me. I'm tired of seeing it. There's gotta be a better way.
We all want you.
And I just wanted to know that I think it may be a good idea to think about if there are more people, say, that work in public works, to have them potentially participate in something, even if it's not citations, but notifications to the closest property owner. Because really right now, we can't hold a lot of other people accountable. So maybe it doesn't result in a fine, but they've been put on notice, and then we have someone potentially partnering with us to basically tell us like someone's illegally dumping close to my property, and just be more mindful, because if, for instance, in this situation, it seems like it's known that the people across the street is the one doing it, but no one's necessarily seeing it. But I know if I'm getting charged and I know my next door neighbor's doing it, then I'll put it and make it a part of my business to make a nice little visit, like, listen, you can't keep doing that because I'm not paying for a citation and you don't want to pay, so just go ahead and do the right things, because the people who do the right things, they are not, when I say the right things, but doing, you know, according to the process and procedure, they're not the ones usually dumping to this, you know, particular degree. Because I'm even laughing at my little lot, I'll see stuff and I'm like, I don't even like smoke or drink, and there's beer bottles. I'm like, what's happening? So people, you know, it's often the people who are not caring about the neighborhood. And I would just note, if you do expand it beyond whoever, one or two people are doing it now, you have to think about also citations and opportunities to be heard and evidentiary collection, like pictures and stuff like that. And so even though it definitely helps for more people to be encouraged to see something, say something, but you don't want things just being thrown out because you just have, you know, speculation. And I don't know, again, how much time it takes to collect the evidence when it gets to it, but it's not unusual that, you know, when we have our once a month hearing, the person who actually took the pictures and part of it is not available, but maybe the person they work with is. And just anytime you talk about, giving any individual citation authority, even if it's permissible, it can get unnecessarily messy when it comes to evidence. It's not just good enough that you said something, but maybe there can be something akin to it, like notice of potential, I don't know. But I just think it's interesting, when I got back here 7 years ago, the very first city council meeting I attended, there was arguments about garbage and this, I never knew it was called white trash, but this trash, and I think I showed up because there was an announcement that things were gonna be collected at Lockridge Park. So I just think it's interesting, as the chief has said, this has been an issue from the beginning of time probably, but I remember over those years hearing opportunities and people trying to come up with something. And so no one's not gonna like it, but you do have to have some consequences that are gonna mean something, and touching people's pockets or the people who are the most likely to sort of partner with making sure their lane is clean. You probably are gonna need to think about how nearby property owners may be the not the easiest, but the people who have to get involved, even if it's under the pressure of, you know, the idea that, well, we didn't do it, but somebody's gonna have to be accountable some kind of way.
Yeah, you're right, I agree. But every dump lane, they can find, you know, they would go.
Oh, I believe it. You see it, 'cause you know, a building that's not really being used that much, and you see all this trash, and then just start, it won't cure everything, but what I'm hearing John say is that it's so pervasive that it's like, you gotta start somewhere.
And that's why I advocate, get a place to put it. We can even bill, if they dump it or you guys are taking to the site, it can still be put in the landfill fee. But at least your guys aren't having to, it's not gonna have to sit there for 3 weeks. And if you give them a place to put it, and even though we still pick up white goods and sofas and all, for those that are organized and care. But at least people that that they forget, they don't know, it's like, we gotta just dump this, but, oh, there's a roll-off site, go ahead and throw that crap in there and we'll take care of it.
Well, we have this capability within the computer system. That one could call in. And.
That doesn't really have anything to do with
it.
She just make a work order, yeah.
You know, put them in, they can do that now.
That new computer system will probably help.
Make it more efficient.
Well, we will have an online work order system for people to, they can do it on their, from their computer, yes. Yeah, exactly.
To Hope's point, community involvement is the key to this.
Yes.
And without that, and it's gotta be the council that says, we're gonna get the community involved in this. This is how we're gonna do it. We approve this method of doing it. We can work on it, but we've got to decide that's what we want to do. We've got to get people to understand that they have to follow the rules. And you need to take pride in where you live. And if you're not, your neighbor's gonna be the one that makes you hold you accountable. And that's really the best way to get anything done. Those informal social controls is what we're talking about, that would help us get to the end goal here, which is to help clean up the city. But I think if we can go into it with that approach, with that community involvement approach, we may be a lot more successful than what we're doing now.
I think they'll get somewhere that they can actually bring their stuff to. It's just like county residents, they don't pile it up on the side of the road, wait for somebody to come here. The county wants to go, they load up in their vehicle, go and drop it off at roll-off sites. That's what we have to do. We ain't got, county ain't don't have somebody coming by or picking it up for us. I think if the county supplies somewhere for it to go, if the city can supply somewhere for it to go, I think that would help out a lot. Right now, they don't have nowhere to carry it. They can't carry it to the roll-off sites. They pile it up on the side of the road.
And Danielle, it takes, winds up taking, because we get two stacked up, get two containers out there, because
You're gonna have to have it manned though, because you're gonna have county residents, you're gonna have everybody dumping there, that's my only concern with that.
We probably do that now.
They may, but,
Oh, you mean at the roll-off?
yeah.
well, there's probably city people that take it over to county sites that can get
They have
it.
stickers and they,
So
Next meeting.
you don't have a sticker, you don't.
That depends on where you
people
go.
have friends.
All right, if everybody would just come up with some ideas, we'll come back to the next meeting and just kind of sum it all up, figure out which way to do.
First step is realizing there's a problem.
Yeah, we know it's a big problem. Agenda item 6H, council just continue, wait a minute, skip one. 6G, council discuss community development block grant projects and take any action necessary.
I mentioned it earlier, but our meeting Thursday with the CBDG grant writer, and then the meeting right after that with Florida Commerce. I just want to get some input from y'all, what projects you think we should go for. It kind of sounded like street repaving would be a good one. I looked at my 5-year capital plan and made some marks for what might, well.
Street repaving is the bottom of this.
For CDBG.
You're right, you're prioritized by points.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember, but if you notice
Water, sewer.
at the higher, you get more points, like 50 points or what's paving, like 3, I don't know. We have to find out.
Well, I thought you were pursuing a revitalization grant downtown.
John, who's the consultant from you?
Name's Andy Easton. Easton.
It's not what we use for.
Somebody that was recommended to me by Jim Dean that did our RIF grants that we got approved, and Diane Schultz.
And the CDBG pays for it, or?
I think it comes out of the back end,
Yeah, once you get it, they get their fees out of it.
Yes, on there, they pay him out of the deed that they get the grant. There's a percentage in the grant or something that pays for the administrative fees.
Do you know what tool you can apply for?
Yeah, and one of them's at one's up to 2 million. You gotta make improvements on public infrastructure. That's like doing turn-in lanes on the road, stuff like that for business. The other three are kind of grouped together, that one's grouped by itself.
Need all of CDBG grants. We can have one and two going at a time, or we have to go one by one?
You could have a housing one and another one going, I would
Okay.
think.
We understood that you can have a revitalization, housing, there's three of them grouped together, and that one's grouped separate.
and
Because when
one's
that grant
housing.
guy came before us, he told us that we couldn't have two going at the same time.
Unless it's housing, housing's the only other one, but that's a different kind of category.
Okay.
How much property does a city own that they acquired by cleanup and, you know, that process?
Probably 10 lots, maybe more than that.
I'm sure it's more than that. Over the years.
I wonder if they're buildable lots.
Or some of them.
Some of them
Some
are,
should be.
yeah.
Some of them are in flood zones, I know that. That's why we couldn't unload them other, offerings we had. There's 4 off of Campbell Creek.
Is that lot on Henry? Is that, we talked about it, that woman wants to clean it all. Is that city owned, you know, right off?
I think I looked it up in the news. But it was really.
That South Henley. Garner. Just out there.
That lot. The side, one side of it looks like it's buildable. I wonder if we could get grant, to build houses on these lots of city owned. That's what you need to ask that man. One way.
That lot's actually.
Well-
Flood zone, the whole lot's flood zone, AH1, or AH.
Who owns it?
It's in a flood zone, the city owns it, but it's all flood zone.
And then they have to have flood insurance, and that's real hard to afford.
Very hard to get.
Well, the house next door is on the ground and it's, but, I thought, and the way they pay for those, whether they, Madison did this, they bought a whole bunch of houses. And, rehabbed them and sold them. Actually sold them, got money. Now you're in a repossession, and all that kind of stuff. But the way some of these programs work, you build a house. And the way they pay for it is by living there for
So many years.
yeah, and if they sell it, they're gonna give that money to the city. Or if they-
I've heard of these.
Program.
Yeah,
That's the one that the county,
It's like shield.
yeah, that's the one in the paper that the county's running, but the city is eligible for it too.
Yeah.
Well, Cutler County, they built up their county.
Doing
Mm-hmm.
it. And Tallahassee is doing it with the small, the tiny houses.
well,
Like,
if some of these lots may not be buildable. for Whatever reason. But at least we can get rid of the lot, and get a big, decent place to live in. They may, the state may waive their rules a little bit to allow us to do something like that.
Talk to the city.
If we can apply for the housing and, whatever, you know,
And any of the others, yeah.
let's do it. Now, problem, and I don't know what kind of problem, downtown revitalization. We've already gotten one of those to do all of this. And what happened was the city just let it go to nothing. And it made that. I don't know if having had one there would affect possibility of getting another one, I don't know.
Well, what would you want to do downtown? Because you can,
I don't know.
yeah, because it was the awnings.
We had one, we let go,
It was the awnings and bump outs.
yeah, downtown already.
We're getting another one, we're gonna have to have like kind of funded on that one with the CDBG. This other one will kind of help us develop projects down the road that you could go for a CDBG later.
Yeah.
And we're doing that water main, and we're gonna be tearing up a lot of the road sidewalk too. I want to get the water main done before we do anything. Revitalization downtown.
That's not coming down Jefferson.
Uh-huh.
That's already good. That's.
That's a can of worms.
You don't have money.
Cause once you start,
Yeah,
We
I mean,
dug up gas containers. We dug up a man's ashes.
Any inconvenience to everybody on the downtown?
But that line, that's.
Probably fun.
gotta get rid of the asbestos.
Anyway, DOT, my DOT, always let you do it. Any more discussion on that? Gotta know where you're gonna go on it. All right, agenda item 6H, council to continue discussion on employee manual review, if there's any action deemed necessary.
That was a failure last meeting. And Christie recommended, I think it's a good idea to do a workshop. Y'all got some dates available. Just work strictly on employee manual, nothing else, knock it out.
Okay.
Be done with it.
Yeah, you were saying like an hour and a half at a time.
Yeah, let's cap it off at a time frame, be done with it for that day, and come back again. And preferably during business hours. Y'all can all make it. We can even do it at the airport. I think, we do it well, too.
Well, you gotta notice it and everything, but
You get recorded.
yeah, it's public. You notice it at the airport, you can do it there. That's convenient for a couple of people.
Good, okay. All right, so you wanna get back with us? What date of it?
Give us some dates, please.
How about you guys give us, what day of the week is no good for you guys?
we talking about this month,
March?
that's what I'm saying. March is not good for me, I'm going on cruises, working a lot, dude. Now y'all can forgive me. Forgive me.
You can claim that from the previous games.
We can just all join.
From the previous.
We make it a working cruise.
The working cruise.
Have we been
Why not in taxes?
No, the city doesn't.
They are there.
All right, so we're gonna,
I'm trying to put a time together. If it don't work for y'all, we'll at least for y'all.
Tuesday, look good, though.
Tuesday's my busiest day. I'll put something up.
All right. Agenda item 6I. Council to discuss grant for downtown revitalization, take any actions deemed necessary.
This is a grant we're getting on behalf of the NFDDP, paid for by the USDA to partner with Retail Strategies. What they're gonna do is the downtown revitalization, they're gonna do market analysis, 5-year strategic plan, and technical assistance. That's what I was just talking about earlier. I'm mostly interested in the 5-year strategic plan. That's gonna give you more projects for other grants, CDBG and things like that to get in the future. So I don't know what all gonna come out of it, but it's probably just a really expensive piece of paper to give us more work to do down the road. But USDA is paying for it.
Well, a lot of times you gotta get other grants, they're gonna refer back to
What was
some
your
study.
had to come from a master plan or study, something like
And
that?
I've been run down a couple of times already with things, so I get, have you had this study done? It's like, maybe we have not, well, we can't go any further until you get that done.
Hopefully this will get that ball rolling. We got 5 letters of support. We sent them today. I sent them one more today.
I love the first sentence. Your plan has 3 levels of action items, including baby steps that can be completed immediately. So you see results of where you're going.
Like ripping out crepe myrtles and putting.
Yeah,
And it gets people excited and engaged.
they are, yeah.
So you need a consensus to go forward with it, or just, you know, use information, just telling us.
Information, yeah.
Good deal. Lucy.
Very good. Agenda item 6J, approval of minutes, February 13th, 2024, regular session.
When I say you, I'm not talking about person. Not about all of us. What I was talking about, you do the minutes and you can't review your own minutes, your own problem. I'm talking about everybody. You've got to get someone else to review what you've done. Aaron probably is the exception.
He's not looking at that.
But, you know, if you're doing something and you can't make it work, you get up and you leave and you come back and there it is. The same thing. You can't, just like adding a long bunch of numbers. What you got to do there is you add those numbers and then you subtract what you got. And if there's a difference, it's a problem. You can't,
I know you've been on balance before this techniques.
better believe it.
Yeah.
When you've got the general fund to balance, trial balance, yeah, you get it. But,
You have a correction you want to make in the minutes?
well, yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking at page 2. And see, this may be fine, I don't know. Down on it says the last paragraph, open this council and this part had a discussion in aims to establish a fair and legal sound process. Is the aims a word? That's the way to go. I believe.
Where are you?
Page 2.
Page 2.
Last paragraph.
Mine's actual.
In aims.
Yeah, that's.
See, back when I was in high school, they told me I couldn't spell and I couldn't do this, but what they didn't know, I was so advanced, I was already texting.
Oh.
Page 4, very top. First sentence.
I'll back up. Actions within an effort to have a discussion in an effort to establish a fair and legally sound process, right? Bill, is that what you're aiming for?
I just saying, his aims is a word.
It is.
What?
Bill.
Aims is a word.
Oh, yeah, aims is a
A long
word.
time ago, they've added a lot of words to
Oh.
the dictionary.
That wouldn't matter. Wouldn't help.
Aims is a word. but
Ames
I
too has
don't-
been around forever.
Yeah, I think it fits there.
But also she's trying to put down more of what you're saying. And sometimes when we talk, it doesn't come out right.
Right.
Such as past tenses
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing it for Dave. I says, you know, you're not a transcriptionist, but now she's so gun shy she's trying to be verbatim, so
Don't be gunshot.
Will be nice, Bill.
almost lost an employee, Bill.
Hey, Bill, I need to apologize.
He's trying to.
That's how he apologized.
Yeah.
Just need to say I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, though. It's their fault for not reviewing it.
And I did this time, Bill. I did this time, which she just didn't, she was trying to be nice and not bother me. But it's-
Go to the, page 4, at the very top. Fourth line. Mr. Hart proposed changing the, I should say, city. Yeah. Let me say this. I have never, ever changed a set of minutes except in a public meeting. You don't ever want to get accused of changing minutes, so.
Well, if you catch your own error,
A typo is different than changing minutes.
Well, I'll tell you how I view it.
It makes sense, at least where you're coming from. I
Right.
understand what you're saying.
We could change it before this meeting, or just approving it.
They're just typos, not changing the minutes.
Right, these are, this is a draft.
But if I never, I don't have to worry about whether I did or didn't.
That's good.
That's-
We see how you
Is
are.
this-
Okay.
Go to, page 5, middle, where it starts, Mr. O'Quinn, go to the next sentence. He has received a new deodorizer and applying it after previous attempts with cherry deodorizer fame. Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't. s-
and it is applying, is that?
Yeah, there either needs to be another word or it's
Yeah, it is applying. Or has been, or whatever.
We talked about just taking that in about,
While we're on the subject, the new one's out.
I'll make sure.
You said it's not working.
Yeah. Anyways, any other changes on the agenda, everybody, okay with that, Amanda?
Well, I had one that I told them. That's already been ahead of time. Which, yeah. It was,
So that gets a big change and, order.
where it says Vice Mayor Landry, next to the end of the page, the second paragraph there that starts with Vice Mayor. Comprehensive Public Works Department, others involved in planning, please know that trees were one of them. Vice Mayor Landry added she had seen previous feedback on social media, not she's seen. That's incorrect grammar, even though people say it all the time, it is incorrect grammar. She had seen or she saw. I don't know how you chose to fix it, but
It's already corrected.
well, it's not, no,
Yeah, cause that went out.
I know, I'm just saying, I don't know how you fixed it, but thank you.
I understand it, this does not have to be verbatim.
It does
And
not.
we're just being so picky.
I don't think.
We have a recording.
And she can always go back and reiterate what it is that we have said, and say that that's not a correct way to say something. I say some incorrect things,
But I didn't
but
say
it's,
that.
it's not, to me, it's not to say it on the record.
But you're doing a good job. And we got a motion on the table, do we have a second? For what? To approve
The minutes.
As amended.
Have amended.
Second.
Councilmember Burns,
Yes.
Councilmember Hanson,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Petrie.
Yes. Thank you, city staff. Good for it.
Budget for a traffic, police traffic trailer thing. What is this?
speed data collection device.
speed data collection device. It was in the budget, came back $7,500. I don't even know why we wanted it. Well, getting the data ain't gonna help us at all unless we have somebody analyzing it and doing something with it. So this isn't really gonna help the city at all. I don't want to buy it, so
What is that?
a speed collection.
It provides data when you want to put speed bumps or whatever.
Yes, so we had a request for speed bumps. And that's what came back was we needed to
We don't have the
check it
person,
out.
we don't have the person that knows how to analyze the data or any of that.
That says defeat the purpose.
There's no reason to buy it.
We
Because
told
if
DOT.
you use it and that person is not qualified to be doing it, they go to court, it's gonna get thrown out.
So let's keep using DOT.
Okay.
I'm not buying this.
Mhm.
Yes.
Anything else, you know?
Thanks.
Any?
Just Bill's concern about that CD, it made $16,000. The 7 should have been a 5.
So what now?
The CD that he was talking about on the cash report that was several months ago.
I
And
understand what 7 should have been a 5.
it was a 700,000 instead of a 500,000, which was the correct number. So he was saying that I malfeasance or something, but it wasn't. I checked the beginning number and it was 523,000. I had the correction right there.
I thought the question on CD was, what did we do with?
The 200 some thousand that
Yeah.
was shorted because if you had 700,000, you have 500, that's money that was spent. And it's like, and again, a phone call ahead of time, then I can actually have an intelligent answer
Okay.
instead of making it sound scary, but it turns out it was simply a typo.
So the 7 should have always been a 5, is what you're saying.
And it's on the books. We have all the history. It never was a 7. So
So you need somebody else to check your work, like Bill said.
You gotta be careful.
Well, and a new computer system is gonna be very helpful because I have to do everything, look it up, type it, and then, the phone rings 15 times, people come in. And he's the only one that really looks at this report. But when I have a new computer, I can just have these reports that'll put it together for me, like a real accounting system. But, I'm glad he's looking at it. It was a good question.
What are you saying now? I'm not following.
It never should have been 7,000.
The 700,000 on the, water,
On
the
the,
water
uh,
FICA cap.
1021-2 column.
So there was a $200,000.
Yeah, I have a copy for it, yeah.
So you say it was
It should have been
$200,000.
$523,626
Okay.
with a profit of $16,447. Because I wouldn't take the money from CD unless I did something legitimate with it, it would be on the books.
Yeah,
but
because we were.
I can't sit here and guess. So, it would be helpful. I could have better answers if I said, hey, Penny, bring that report. Because it was several months old. So,
Basically, there was just $200,000 discrepancy in the.
yeah, and he was saying, and he was pointing out the discrepancy. It's like, I gotta look at it. And I did.
What was
It's
the
a type.
description? Where was it printed 700,000? Where was that printed at? He got it from?
This is he wanted a report of October 1, 22 versus year end of 20.
So you did the first quarter report, you had a CD down for 700,000 instead of 5.
But it never, we didn't. It was another 520.
So where did you get the 700,000?
On the typo in the original report that I did.
That's what I'm asking. So there was a report submitted to the council that said 700,000? That's fine.
Smitty, you got anything else?
Nope.
Don't. Hello?
I'll have more at the next meeting, but just noting that the Bacon Street, Sellers Manning case, on the fourth, next Monday, we will be doing a Zoom, which is gonna end up being a status meeting with the judge to explain what conditions we negotiated between ourselves. And I thought I would have it by today to give to John, but what I can also do is give it to John as well as CC all of you, if there was something that he wanted to comment on. But so the court would know, we've already gave them, notice that our intent is resolving, but we still have the court calendar scheduled for a motion for summary judgment and or trial starting on Monday, March the 4th. And, you know, I'll handle it that way unless you all have more questions. I'll just send you what we've been working on. I was waiting to hear back from Mr. Black. But I had it that, you know, and most of the time it will be the mayor's signature as well as the city manager's signature in mind regarding whatever the ultimate contracting or agreement is. Also, I'm going to be attending, and I don't know if any of you will be, and I'm just asking just in case anyone else is going, but I'll be going to the Florida, I always say the wrong initials, but the Florida Economic Development, am I saying that correctly? Event with their board of directors and general membership, meeting like from 8 to 12 on this Friday, coming up March the 1st. Can't believe it's March already. Also in Live Oak, that'll be in Old Town, Florida. And at the end of the month, I'll be attending the League of Cities meeting in Live Oak. So I continue to look forward to getting to know more about the people who are doing the work that I do and just how it impacts the council. So that's all I have to give you guys updates about.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief? Chief?
I got interviews set for in the morning, hopefully fill up my short staff.
Very good. There's your name. Danielle? Second? Anyone? Bueller? Okay. Do that in a minute, Steph, if you don't mind, Bueller.
What's that?
Spell it right, Bueller.
You were?
Bueller.
There's Shirley, say,
You never saw Ferris Bueller's
she's
Day
too
Off?
young for that.
Yeah, still no Paris.
Bueller. Okay. I'm making a joke on it. Okay, city council request, anyone, Ms. Stanton?
Evaluation. Time for John's evaluation. I think it is anyway. So what are we going to do? That would be on the agenda. Council, anybody?
We can put on the next, we can put on this.
Or should you just include it in our packets? Or send it to us? And at the next meeting, we already have information.
You want the old format? I mean.
Well, I tried. And no one wanted to do anything about it, so I guess we use the old one. Unless council wants to look at the old one. Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah, he's been here a year now, February to February.
Mhm.
222, wasn't it? I can't remember. What are you telling me?
Or at least he got hired then, because I think Taylor, we had to pay him through February, so.
Anyway, do we wanna, I mean, of course, you wanna do the evaluation individually. Do we wanna have an individual one-on-one with John before the evaluation goes public, or do we wanna just do it all in public?
I'll just tell me I'm doing a great job now, and skip it all.
So what,
Y'all can just tell me I'm doing a great job now and skip the whole thing.
you are. I think we can get that done by the end of March anyway. If that's okay with council, I just brought it up. The checks. The three checks and the signatures. I don't know what's going on, but my check have not changed. And I thought I was getting a $50 difference being the mayor, but it's still the same. And the signature on the checks have also changed. The mayor is above the city manager. Yeah, look at all kinds of stuff.
I didn't know there was a difference. I was always told by Bob Brown there was a difference.
I didn't think there was either.
You know, that's the way it's been be.
Has it? Got it.
And, you know,
Well, say
Whatever
we
we
don't,
can,
so I don't know.
but, you know, it doesn't matter, I'm just thinking. But my check,
Well,
my
it
check,
does
is-
matter, we need to know whether it is or not, as far as I know, it's not.
my check is the same.
She's been the paymaster since 2010,
It's not changing here.
and I've done the budget. It's
And no, it's
All
not.
of council gets paid the same exact amount.
Okay, I thought mayor was paid $50 more.
no, ma'am, never.
It may have been at one
Well, it
time,
was at one time,
but
but
it's not now.
Not since I've been here.
The only one I
I
ever
guess
knew,
I was lied to then.
the only one I ever knew was different was, I think, the zoning board one. time.
Yes, they
Years
get-
ago, it was $50 for regular members and 75 for chair.
I believe so. And they get paid monthly for sitting on that, yeah.
That's all I remember being.
Yeah, accounts payable,
Everything's
she doesn't do
cool.
that one.
Everything's cool, no little thing. I'm done.
My turn.
Have
Has the speed thing been instituted, the school zone speed thing that we signed up for?
We've got the rules now from DOT. It's now in the realm of picking a vendor again. I'm going to, because the rules changed some things. I'm gonna get another survey done by the company before we make any decisions on who we're gonna go for on the vendor. And they've also expanded that to allow for enforcement on school buses as well, past it being passed while the stop arms are out. So that I want to explore that at the same time, see if we can get it all together. There's a company that just came into Florida that's established in other states that do this. And I want to see what their presentation is before we do it.
But we've already agreed to do it.
We've agreed to do it, but we haven't picked the vendor, and there's a process for that.
Okay. And also, what about the,
That's for the
weather?
automatic ticket.
Yes.
There was some funny language when you got to the last page of that.
Yeah.
That they got, I remember it was like 13 grand. The first 13 grand of tickets written go to
Yeah.
that company. And if you don't get to that 13 grand, that carries over to the next month. And they get the difference between that 13 grand and the old 13 grand. So you never, ever, no.
So did we sign the contract with them? Okay.
What's
It was
gonna happen?
presented and we liked it, but we never signed the
We
contract.
didn't sign the contract because we had an issue with the contract.
Okay.
And it looks like we're gonna be getting charged if we're not careful on that contract, and I didn't want to put us on paying anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cost neutral is what we're after. It's about the safety side of it, and that's what we're after is the cost neutral benefit of that.
Yes.
But with that one company, they were in that legalese trying to work it in where you're gonna end up paying them if you
Yeah,
didn't
well,
produce a
they-
certain number of tickets.
They told us that it wasn't gonna cost us
They
anything.
tell you a lot, that you sign the contract.
Okay, thanks for catching
And
that.
then the contract says this contract prevails, anything that was said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, oh yeah, always. And what about the weather thing on the water tower?
I have not heard anything from John, or the emergency management director on that. The guy that owned that system and the programming had a medical issue happen, and I don't even know if that program's running the way it used to. And he's been inundated with a lot of issues since that hurricane. We haven't really had that discussion, so I couldn't answer that.
Well, isn't that tied into WCTV? Don't they have
That's,
access?
that data would be available for them to use,
Fine.
because there's, each device has its own website. And that's what they would do, is they would log into the website like any citizen could to see the information.
So we got hanging.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I sat in that audience out there probably for a year. At request of people. At that time, city council never said a word exactly. The city attorney was one in charge. And the city attorney and the city manager ran the show, so to speak. And I guarantee you, I made up my mind, I was not gonna sit over here in this chair back dumb and happy. I was gonna discuss, I was gonna bring things up. The intention is to get the rest of the county and the rest of the county involved. Meetings lasted 15 minutes. See the time there. We're more involved. John's more involved. Everybody. It was intentionally done. There's Henley again, but how we gonna clean that lot? I saw, we'll need people want. I saw a machine, and I don't know if there's one here in Perry or not. But they sort of take that machine, it's got a grinder on the front of it, and they just go through all that stuff, from, you know, most of it. And I wonder if there's somebody here in Perry.
The one that went on the skid steer?
Yeah.
Is it wood or is it, you chewing up wood or metal?
Yeah,
or what?
wood.
Yeah, there's several of them here.
What not?
It'll just,
Because if we plant, we have to do it by hand.
oh, I know. No, we
Henley.
got
Money's
to
right off
Can't
my,
land name.
except the money's right off my one.
You're talking to the wrong person there. But I think we could look, I saw one in Tallahassee.
Now, excuse me, are you saying that if we found one and could rent it, we couldn't use it?
Oh,
I don't
no,
know if we would know how to use it.
of course.
I mean, I don't know.
You tear them things up easy. You're talking about a forestry mulcher head?
Yes.
You tear them things up easy.
Yeah, that thing stands like a big drum and just.
Well, we could contract it out. It's a one-time kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
cleanup.
That's-
And then we can bush hog it after that, right?
Most of those guys think 200 yards an hour, minimum of 4 hours.
Yeah,
I don't know how big that lot is.
I don't know.
Some of them,
but-
certain size trees, they can take
Well,
that.
they can't do, I'm talking about the small.
Well, I mean, chewing trees up with, it's kind of an art form, you don't want to just run in there and do it, you gotta. Certain way you do it, and knock them down, right, so it don't come back on you.
They measure that up against paying the employees to go out there and do all that.
We don't have employees.
I am very short. All we do is pick up garbage and trash right now.
Yeah.
We were transporting water, wastewater to Buckeye, is that, will we,
You have gray water.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the pipeline was built in Obama time, yeah.
Yeah.
The Buckeye pipeline, yeah.
Is it in flow or is it?
I can't imagine there's, and of course, we're not metering, well, we are metering it, but we don't start charging till like billions get pumped. And I just checked it a year or two ago, we're nowhere near that, and now that they've shut down, forget
Yeah.
about it. But we're using a spray field mostly,
100%.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's no water.
yep.
I got it. Thanks.
Sewer line on Cherry. You gotta remember, if you got a hole in the pipe, and that pipe is here, and the water comes up, whichever's got the greatest, it's going in. When that water goes down, that raw sewage comes out. We need to fix that line. And we need to use that, ARP money. And however we need to make that happen. Need to. That's due. I can't say something, or you can't say something, or anybody can't say something without three people. And I'm asking, do you want to fix the line? I'm asking the council that.
We need to fix the line. It's been that way for a while and I keep waiting on somebody to break through there with their vehicle and really have a miss.
Well, you got someone out there that, I don't know if he's maybe or what, but he calls regularly about it's fallen this much and this
Yeah.
much.
Where's this?
Well, they
located?
went out there and patched it, but, you know,
Can't pass it.
Right.
Don't we have a couple like that in town?
It's right off Ash Street.
but you've got three on Cherry.
Yeah, I know, you can see the, yeah,
And they're in a straight line.
it's obvious what it is.
What do you say?
Our sewer plant's rated for 1.25 million gallons a day of processing sewer. On heavy rainfall event, like about a month ago, we were averaging almost 3 million a day.
Yeah.
3 million gallons a day, and that's all coming from intrusion and infiltration into your sewer system. But I know Cherry Street's bad, but I can almost guarantee you it's not the worst one out there. That issue's all over the city.
Because Diane, last time you brought that up, I do know the discussion, you know, in trying to, what should we do conversation? But there are several others in the city that are just as bad. And I guess they're just, it's expensive. But
Can we get a grant to fix that?
We got,
Those, all of those need fixed.
we already got one.
We just not doing it fast.
Grant?
Yeah.
Which one?
AARP or whatever it is.
Well, we're working on that.
Yeah, I'm not, it just, I don't want to come to mind.
Well, that's,
Well,
that's just like,
That's
that's,
always it.
Bill wouldn't spend any money back then. He
That's
spends it now.
that's the same thing as a street paving.
It's a lot more invasive, yeah.
I don't care. It's the same issue. You got all this stuff out there that needs fixing. Oh, well, it's too much. We can't do. We can pick one and do it.
Yes.
Probably be 50 grand. In stitcher form, I think it's about 200 foot of pipe.
And how
That
much
doesn't
have we
fit.
got in ARPA funds?
I don't know, we've got a lot of things budgeted against it now. I have to research it a bit.
We need to bring that back to us.
And
so we
are
can
they
make a
more
decision.
pressing than that issue?
Well, you okayed it for the budget.
Should bring it back so we can make a decision on
I mean, it does need to be fixed, but it's probably not your worst problem out there. There's probably way higher priorities than that one. Just for leaking, not the road.
I'm not saying that particular one.
That's,
I'm just saying if you got them all out there, pick one and fix it.
we could wait a little while. SRS paying for our wastewater facility plan. Part of that is going through and examining all these lines. Then you have that to apply for grants.
Right.
But just going out there and picking this one because we know it's there. You're just spending 40 grand and probably 0.001% of the problems.
And when it get destroyed, when ever they decide to repay cash,
Say again?
Yeah, that
I'm
was another
saying-
issue.
yeah. I'm saying if we go ahead and we do the work now, when some of that get destroyed, when it wouldn't, why? Because it's so far under the
It's
ground?
about 20 feet.
Okay. That was my other question.
You got, we got sewer pipe in the creek, and we know we got infiltration from it. But, yeah, there's plenty of it.
I'd rather find where the 1 million gallons a day is coming in than that's what.
You won't never find me where it is. Coming, I'll tell you where a lot of it's coming from, manhole.
Yep.
But come today, a car, see, that's washing sand. And that's why it's going down. Come today, a car falls in there, you're gonna be sitting right here saying, boy, I wish we was doing that.
That's what I said.
That's not 40,000, now it's 4 billion.
Once again, I'm asking Ms. Penny if she could bring us some figures back. See if
We got left
yeah.
article, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. I keep me up, and I've seen Diane do the same thing. A list. And on that list, I've got different things, with dates. One of the favorite things that the, staff used to do, and some still do it. In May of 2023, I requested an accrual basis of the enterprise funds. That's the only way you're gonna know if they're over or under budget. Only way. That's May of 2023. We're still waiting. And you ask why I bring this up in a public meeting, I'm still waiting.
I don't ever recall you asking for
I'm
that.
telling you, if you go back to this day, May of 2023, I asked for it. I actually held it up and I said, you all, it's simple. You subtract these accounts payable, you add these accounts payable. And if you can't understand it, I'll come up and show you. That's what I said. If you go back and look at the tape.
Okay.
But that's the way things have been done for a long time, and some of it's still going on. Now, again, I'm asking for the 23 accrual of the enterprise fund. All you gotta do is take it, add one side, subtract one side. That is the only way you will know if anybody's going over budget. And I assume everyone would like to know that. That's just a fact.
And you're saying that's accounts payables
Of course,
versus receivables?
payables. What's payables got to do with expenses?
I don't know. This is
It-
something that we've never had. You didn't have any reports. Sarah didn't have any reports like that. And you can look at the budget comparison and that tells you a lot. And that tells you throw over under budget.
No, it's not telling you, it's not giving you your approval. And I did have it. Well, I have things. Then put the date on this again.
That's fine. I'll call you. We'll get together and you can show me exactly what you want. I'll buy you lunch. You come and show me what you want and I'll come up with a report.
I just told you.
Okay. We'll sit
You
down.
got the report we got now, it's got last year's payables.
Correct.
You take them out and put this year's payables in.
It's a one-time deal.
And yeah, oh yeah. But you can't tell, you can tell about the police department, fire and all that because it's in the audit report.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once the CAF is done, that's helpful too.
But we can't see the enterprise.
Okay. I got you, Jim.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
I just got one thing I want to bring up. Not this past Saturday, but Saturday before last, I had a chance to pass by a mud bogging thing going on at, early on a Saturday morning at, Folsom Park. And I turned around and went back, there was one guy pulling another one out. Of course, by the time I got back, I mean, the case would have been super weak to even bring anything up, but I guess it's got me to thinking more about the parks and the destruction. And we need to make it not worth it. Need to make it daggone expensive, they can't afford it. Or don't want to afford it.
I can't tell you how many times throughout the week, I'll call, I'll call, the police department, whoever, dispatch, whoever, say that there's someone at Blockers or someone there, or someone wherever. But by the time they get there, they'll see the police car pull up and then, they're gone. But you'll see the police car coming and wait. I mean, they're watching. They're watching for them to come.
When we talking about code enforcement, everybody being able to be a code enforcement officer, they can do that.
No, I do my part.
Okay. No, it wouldn't be y'all. But by the time, like I said, if I'd have called or whatever, I mean, what we do in that case, just take tag numbers, take pictures, would it do any good? Video.
If you're looking for enforcement through statutes, you have to be a complainant in a sworn affidavit so that we can progress with it. But if you're talking about enforcement through code, there's a cap on what available relief we have on that. If we can tie it to a state statute, that's the easiest way. We have a little more, a few more options, but if we're talking about code, city code enforcement side of it, it's gonna be, there's not a lot of, we can do anything more than $500 fine, really, because that's the max we can do on one event without a magistrate. So,
And restitution for the tore up, correct?
well, there's no provisions in code that I'm aware of that would order restitution.
What about statute?
That's
Say,
it.
we'll just kind of look into it and see what,
And,
we can talk about it in another meeting, but
we can get restitution ordered on a conviction for criminal mischief is what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, if it made a criminal case.
Yes.
But all of that, I mean, you are a witness too, as to seeing it, so camera, video, capturing information, all that would help on either account. You know, regardless if you were deputized almost, just as a regular citizen seeing mischief happening.
Yeah, and the thresholds for misdemeanor and felony criminal mischief are so far apart. It's $1,000 more for felony criminal mischief. And that's where you can get into, you know, a little more teeth into the enforcement side of it. But, you know, then again, we have to worry about rules of evidence that everybody, look, we suffer from the CSI effect in society. You know, they think that we should be able to take a picture and get the DNA analysis of the person that's doing it. We can't do that.
right.
You know, so you got, well, we have probable cause, which is really easy to get to. The burden for trial is beyond reasonable doubt. So we've got to get evidence that reaches that level or that burden for a conviction so we can get restitution. It's not just as easy as I saw it happen.
Right.
You've got to convince the jurors, if you go that route, or a judge that understands rules of evidence and procedure, to convince him or her that that is a violation that's beyond reasonable doubt. So we've got to have so much evidence now to get a conviction that we've got to have really good witnesses with really good media and video evidence to help us. We've got to have that. Without that, we're not going to be able to do anything.
This is not,
Yeah.
this is not personal. But in my district and parts of District 1, I'm told a lot that the cops say it's all right for me to ride. Not over them.
No, ma'am.
I'm just telling you what's being said.
But they can tell you whatever they want.
May I finish, please?
Yes, you can.
I'm not trying to start anything. But I have seen for myself. I've called the cops. The kids out there riding the four-wheeler, doing the little donuts or whatever you call it. They will come out. They will leave and leave the kids there with the four-wheelers. And they start saying, so there is a problem somewhere that we've got to solve. Because they don't give a darn about law enforcement. They come through four wheels. And I know that you all can't chase them and all of that. But it's a big problem. In my neighborhood,
The
I
provision,
know other neighborhoods.
the provision that we had that allowed us to tow a four-wheeler, an ATV or UTV was repealed by the council.
That's right.
So, and that was what, one of the things that we used to take them off the street, but it was repealed.
Mhm.
So we've got to find another way to work on this.
If they were just riding one way. But they're not. They're tearing over there by the wall, big parks.
The parks and the sidewalks.
Destruction of public property.
We're appalled by it just as much as everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah, we want it to stop, because if we have less of that, we have less calls to deal with, and we can go deal with other things.
Mhm.
And that's what we want.
Money being spent on broken toilets and sinks and.
Yeah,
everything
Exactly
else.
right. You know, when you go back and you think about, you know, when you think about broken windows theory, and I don't know if anybody really in here understands what that is. But the concept, basic concept is if you have something that's damaged, there's people gonna damage stuff just because it's damaged, because it fits in.
Right.
And that's the basics of it. There's a lot more theory to it. So what we're talking about is the community's gotta be the one that says, we're tired of this. We know the kids that are riding these four-wheelers. We know who's doing this. We know who's tearing things up. It's not our job to fix society. It's our job to help society.
So what do we do then? We know who's doing it. So what do we do? Go to the parents?
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
What's
Well, that's some of the parents.
Kids too, because we've seen 4 or 5 a month, we're getting called for four-wheeler versus car, four-wheeler versus four-wheeler. Stuff like that, we're seeing a lot more people get hurt in those areas.
Yes.
There's no easy solution to this.
I know it's hard.
And it falls back again, once again, on society and the community itself to say enough's enough. And until the community decide we've had enough, it's not gonna change. That's what it's gonna take.
And was it, you can't legislate morality?
You cannot.
You can try.
We'll try anything we can, but you know, if it becomes ineffective, why do we keep doing it?
We can encourage. Right.
And I think the challenge is
Someone
you
gets
have to
hurt
make the
again.
consequences consequential and not just the issue of it being wrong. And I think sometimes people, you know, either there's complaint that there's over enforcement, we're being harassed. And then I did it, you can have rules, but if you don't really have something consequential like a fine or towing even, I don't know about the towing aspect itself, then, you know, people are just hardened to it.
And,
It doesn't change.
and what you find a lot of times is the guardians or the caregivers of these children are using that as a babysitting tool so they can do whatever they want too. So we're dealing with that. You know, that's another societal issue we're dealing with. That's why we have fights in parking lots and because these kids are being left to their own devices. So it's a way bigger issue than just a four-wheeler. Is society tired of what we're being allowed or what's being allowed to happen? That's what it comes down to.
Well, it has gotten a little better at Long Ridge. And it's normally the same ones coming. They will speed up and down, then they'll wait at the end and look. And see if someone's coming. No one comes, then you do it over and over again. And I'm just afraid that one day outside my front door, somebody's child is gonna get.
And over the years, we have worked those instances. We've had kids on four-wheelers injured and killed. We've had kids riding golf carts through neighborhoods and communities they shouldn't be riding on because they don't understand the rules. And they have no concept of this will hurt me. So the simple act of allowing them to operate that device is the problem, not us not being able to identify who they are.
I think it might just need to go further. I don't.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm done.
Good evening.
But. Oh, the Lord. Maybe you can have some red out.
Have you seen-
Next one, I never.